armed woman in body armor. Shows up to a church in Pennsylvania. 10 minutes before the service starts, she shows up. She's in body armor. She goes right up near the church entrance, and she's confronted by a couple of folks. And it's this 31-year-old here, Amber Espy. She's 31 years old. She's a female. This is an odd situation. Most of the time we're talking about males. She's in body armor. She says she's looking for a priest. And what we know from the interviews afterwards from police reports is that she intended to take that priest or pastor hostage. That was her intentions. She was asked to leave, and an off-duty detective happens to be there and asks Amber to leave because of her body armor and stuff like that. That's some big flags going off. And she ends up pulling out a gun and pointing it at him. And he eventually convinces her to holster it. And there's some discussion that she had more guns in her vehicle there on the property as well. So very scary situation. And all I want to do is I want to talk about these things with you. And when we talk about these incidents, instead of me saying we need to watch the parking lot, we need to watch our entrances, and just me continually repeating that stuff, I want to share some real world things that are going on with you. Some are going on not on Sundays, but could easily be going on Saturdays or Sundays. This one is actually going on a Sunday morning. And the importance of it is it's a female involved. So then we start adding things. What are you going to do if that happens? You've got to add that if you're going to have her go somewhere with you, you got to have a female with you. If you're a male, you need to have a couple of people with you. But great job for these folks. If it was the detective that was off duty, stopping her from getting into the church, stopping her from getting to the priest or pastor, and being able to get this situation resolved. So, if you're at this church or you're your church and a 31-year-old male or female walks up in body armor, what are you going to do? Serious stuff. And we definitely, violence is getting more and more prevalent in our communities. And we go through phases where we see it at more and more of our churches as well. And so there used to be kind of a hands-off thing about churches many years ago, but now the violence is coming to our parking lots and our churches. And so, if you're faced with some of these items, what are you going to do? What would you or your team do to prep for a funeral that might have retaliation issues? And I think you should have a 5-minute discussion about that. And if you find out you're having a funeral that might have retaliation issues, you should get to planning for it. You've got to have some presence, some armed presence. I would think whether it's police or hiring security officers that are armed to stand out front, whatever that looks like. And then what would your team do, or what would you do to better protect the parking lot or people leaving or arriving to church? As we look at this female with body armor, wow, we've got to look at making sure that we're protecting that parking lot as far as I'm concerned. So what are you going to do? That's the question we're going to ask. I hope that you'll watch more of these. I hope you'll like and subscribe to the information that myself and my team puts together. We'd like to connect with you more. And I'd like to see you watch this video right here to give you more information that you might need relative to church security.